Police are holding a suspect who says he made yesterday's fake bomb threat to several Shanghai commercial flights. Local museum attendance is up for today's International Museum Day, free admission help. And the hunt is on for jewelry stolen during the Cannes Film Festival. Good evening and welcome to this weekend edition of Shanghai Live, and I'm your host, Zhang Jieying. Police in Jiangsu province say a man has confessed to making a series of hoax bomb threats against 11 domestic flights to or from Shanghai late yesterday afternoon. Dai Qian has more.
At around 5:30 p.m. yesterday, Guangzhou's Baiyun Airport got a call saying there were bombs on 3 flights from Guangzhou to Shanghai. A Spring Airlines jet was already in the air with more than 170 people on board. The pilots landed in Fuzhou for a safety check of passengers and the plane itself.
It was a strict check. Everything, including all the tiny items, had to be checked.
One Air China flight returned to Baiyun Airport.
We were halfway between Shanghai and Guangzhou when we turned around. We landed in Guangzhou and went through another safety check before reboarding the plane.
Passengers aboard a China Southern Airlines flight that landed safely at Hongqiao Airport here also got another security check, and authorities said everything was fine. Chongqing's Jiangbi Airport also got telephone threats yesterday afternoon about 4 flights to Shanghai.
There were flights to Shanghai, and the threat said that there were bombs on board.
All of those flights were checked with no problems. The other threats involved 1 flight each way between Shanghai and Beijing. Hundreds of passengers had to go through extra checks. Police in Yancheng say they have arrested a 43-year-old man surnamed Ji, who has reportedly admitting making the calls. This was the second series of hoax bomb threats in the past 3 days. They affected 16 domestic flights in all. Dai Qian, Shanghai Live.
Some owners of new cars in Shanghai are already registering for this month's license plate auction next Saturday. And they're especially hopeful this month because they say the city government's latest effort to hold down prices has proven effective over the past 2 months. Chen Bing has more.
Many prospective bidders who braved the heavy rain to go to the auction company on Fuzhou Road in downtown Huangpu district say thanks to the new plate policy, the rising prices have slowed since the beginning of the year.
The price was limited and the average price in previous months, so it's acceptable.
I wanted to buy a plate because the price is under control now.
Officials have lowered the opening bid level this month to 79,900 yuan. That's down 3,700 yuan from April. Some bidders say they expect the price this month will be lower than the April average of 84,100 yuan. The city will auction 9,000 car plates next Saturday, 2,000 fewer than last month. Chen Bing, Shanghai Live.
This morning's rain didn't stop a lot of people from going to local museums on International Museum Day. Attendance was up at many of them. Dai Qian reports one reason is that 105 of the city's museums are letting people in free.
Although the weather wasn't good, the line outside the Shanghai Museum stretched for nearly 100 meters at one point today, and included local residents and visitors.
My home is quite far away from here, but I still wanted to visit museum because I think it's helpful to learn Chinese history.
It's great. Yeah, we enjoy.
Some private museums also drew big crowds. A museum of traditional Chinese calligraphy in downtown Huangpu district reports 3 times the normal number of visitors.
It's quite a unique experience. Here I can learn many things that can't be learned from books.
Museums report attendance in general is up. One reason may be that nearly 80% of the museums letting people in for free today don't charge admission at any time. 在线 Shanghai Live.
The big event of tonight's Diamond League competition, the men's 110-meter hurdles, will happen in about 45 minutes. Runners include London Olympic champion and world record holder Aries Merritt of the United States, and Shanghai native Xie Wenjun as one of the two competitors representing China. The China round of the world's biggest annual track and field competition got underway today at Shanghai Stadium. Among the highlights so far, Czech hurdler Zuzana Hejnova ran well ahead of world champion Lashinda Demas to take the women's 400-meter hurdles in 53.79 seconds. Just ahead of the runner-up, the American champion only finished in 6th place. And now let's take a quick look at other domestic news, including the latest changes in housing prices around the country. The National Bureau of Statistics says new home prices were up in 67 of 70 major Chinese cities it surveyed last month. But it says the highest increase was 2.1%, which was down from the 3.2% rise in March. The slowdown included all of the country's first-tier cities. Housing prices in Guangzhou, Shanghai and Shenzhen increased 2.1%, 2% and 1.8% respectively, and two cities actually had a price drop from a month earlier. Economists say despite the lower growth, prices are still going up, so it's crucial to continue tightening controls. The Food and Drug Administration in the southern city of Guangzhou says it spot-checked 18 batches of rice sold on the local market and found that nearly half had too much of the heavy metal cadmium. Authorities haven't released the brand names but say they've removed all the problematic rice from shelves. Rice from central Hunan province with too much cadmium was found in Guangzhou in February. And authorities there say they've suspended one local company suspected of using that Hunan rice in other products. Hong Kong's Tianshui Wine railway service is back to normal now after a derailment yesterday that injured at least 77 people, 4 of them seriously. A 2-car train went off the rails while making a turn at around 4 yesterday afternoon. Some railway engineers say it may have been going too fast. Taiwanese investigators who had wanted to look into the Philippines Coast Guard's shooting death of a Taiwanese fisherman earlier this month left Manila this afternoon, after saying they were unhappy with the level of cooperation from the Philippines government. Chen Bing has more.
The head of the investigating team said today they decided to leave because of a lack of honesty and cooperation by the Philippines.
The Philippine government has tried to prolong and delay our request. Although we made some progress yesterday, we still feel discontent on the lack of sincerity and credibility shown by the Philippine side in cooperating with our team.
The 14-member team that arrived on Thursday called again for the two sides to collaborate on discovering the truth behind the incident. The circumstances of the shooting remain in dispute. Manila says it was self-defense to prevent the Taiwanese fishing boat from ramming the Coast Guard vessel, but Taiwanese fishermen denied that. Taiwan has frozen the hiring of Filipino workers, cut trade exchanges, and is discouraging travel to the Philippines. Chen Bing, Shanghai Live.
South Korea says North Korea has fired 3 short-range missiles into its eastern waters, 2 this morning and another in the afternoon. One South Korean official said it appears the missiles may be modified anti-ship weapons or KN-02 surface-to-surface missiles with a range of about 120 kilometers. North Korea routinely tests short-range missiles and had fired a pair of KN-02 missiles into the sea in March. Observers say today's launches come at a time of tentative diplomacy aimed at easing tension between the two Koreas. U.S. officials say the North recently moved 2 missiles away from its east coast that are believed to be able to reach the U.S. territory of Guam in the Pacific Ocean. French police are still looking for whoever stole a hotel room safe that was reportedly full of diamonds and jewelry from the Swiss jewelry company Chopard, which is one of the sponsors of the Cannes Film Festival. The room was rented to a company employee. Mark Leff has more.
One police source says someone broke into the room early yesterday morning without forcing the door or using the magnetic key card and removed the safe from the wall. It happened as the company was hosting a celebrity gala at a different hotel. Chopard often lends jewels to models and actresses attending the film festival. French officials put the value of the stolen items at more than $1 million. The jeweler isn't saying much about the theft, beyond saying that some reports are wrong.
There is currently a police investigation underway, so we can only let you know that the value of the pieces stolen is far lower than those in the figures circulating in the media. The jewelry stolen are not part of the collection of the jewels that are worn by actresses during the Cannes Festival.
Chopard also makes the Crystal and Gold Pound d'Or trophy awarded each year to the festival's top film. Festival organizers won't say where this year's trophy is, but they do say it's in a safe place. Mark Leff, Shanghai Live.
Two giant pandas from China are finally meeting the Canadian public at the Toronto Zoo. The pair of pandas will spend a decade in Canada. 4-year-old male Da Mao and 5-year-old female Shun made their invitation-only debut at the zoo yesterday in front of nearly 200 guests before going on public display today. They arrived in Toronto on a special plane on March 25th. The pandas are to spend 5 years in Toronto and then move to Calgary in Alberta for another 5 years. The Toronto Zoo is expecting the pair of pandas to draw about 300,000 visitors this year. And that's all for today's edition of Shanghai Live. Thank you for watching A Great Company. Have a great weekend. Bye for now.